Hey guys, Watty Watt here, episode 2, the Den Unracked. We're here back with our second week. I'm joined with my co-host, Dylan Armbrust, and our producer, Brandon Young. We're going to go over some fitness, finance, and FUBAR once again. Dylan, you just got back from a big show that's been going out there called The Legion by Chris Means. What do you have to say about it?
It was a really good show. A lot of good talent showed up. It was a long day. You know, we had... What do we have? We had wellness, we had bikini, we had fitness, classic physique, and men's bodybuilding. That was just the pros.
Did you judge? Did you judge?
Yes, I judged, and we had the amateur show along with that, and he had like 130 some odd entries. So
good. That's a good turnout. Do you just tidbit for you? Do you guys get tired up there? I mean, that's a lot of things just sitting there. Do you guys ever just check out? Or
yeah, I mean, you get tired. You know, the days do get long, but like when the pros really break it up because they're always exciting to watch. You know, so it's kind of like you almost have adrenaline rush almost after judging them because it gets pretty intense.
You become a fan, kind of?
No, it's just kind of fun to see who's in shape and who's not. You know, no, those are the ones sitting behind me a few aisles. You know,
yeah, right. I mean, does the fans, and listen, guys, you know when you hear them yelling and they're like yelling their number, yelling their name, does it influence you at all? Like who to look at sometimes?
No, sometimes it's like, what is this guy even looking at?
Oh, okay. So you're
like,
questioning the fan?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, like. So therefore you guys know that they don't really listen to us, but we tell you they do. But like I saw one of our home guys there, Dorian Haywood. He moved back up into the podium with a 4th place finish. And I thought from the front shots, he looked just as good as Tonio.
Antonio really won the show hands down. He was better conditioned than everybody, better, muscularity, better structure. He won the show hands down. But getting back to Dorian looked pretty good. He surprised me when he walked out, and Tarek brought him out in the first call out, and he battled and did well. So
yeah, I was super proud of him. Yeah. Dorian, if you guys don't know, is the last year's Masters Olympia overall champion. About that, the Masters overall Olympia is every other year, and like back in the day, they used to have it every year. Do you think that's a disservice or a service? Because you're talking about masters, so not to be morbid, but they can be passed away by the next year. I mean, what do you think? Should we bring it back every year?
Living on the edge. No, I think it's a good thing for the masters. A lot of good masters competitors. A lot of them are successful in their life at this point. They can afford to do the travel and all that stuff. So, the Masters, I think, is a great thing for the sport, and a lot of guys that compete their whole life, they get up to the 40s, and
should they have it every year?
They want to kind of still compete.
But should they have it every year, like that Masters Olympia?
I think it would be cool if they did.
Yeah,
if the money's there, why not? I mean,
like
so.
At least like I was talking to Dorian, he said, at least I'm a champ for 2 years. I'm like, yeah,
he's a champ for 2 years.
Contested for non 2 years. Okay, I also noticed that it's a big topic that Tonio said he's going to knock out Martin in that top 5. And Martin's my boy, and I don't want to see that. What do you feel about that? It's good. You think it's plausible?
Well, it was at the press conference day before, and I was sitting there kind of getting bored, falling asleep. And then I heard that, and that woke me right up, and I was like, oh, okay, here we go again.
Shots fired.
I was like, well, Martin's going to love hearing that.
He's going to love that. Hopefully
you know how Martin is. He takes that all in fire.
I love it.
You just lit a fire under Martin's ass.
Derek just fired up. Derek said he's going to knock some heads off and stuff. And I was watching some other podcasts, and everybody's like, I love this Derek. And so do I. I mean, I love the Christian Derek and the put together Derek. But I think we all know as being champions that you want to win, and we're not always that nice, and you can't be just nice all the time.
No, you can't. And none of the previous champions were. They'd tell it how it was. You got Phil, you had Lee Haney, you had Dorian. They all said, I'm going to win. Mm-hmm. Nobody's going to beat me.
Yeah.
And they had the rest of the competitors believing that after about 2 or 3 Olympia wins, they just kind of showing up to take second.
The thing I liked about Tonio, too, is knowing him personally, he's also the nicest guy on the planet.
Yeah, because you shot with him here in Armbrust,
a bunch of times, and he's the nicest guy, but he's
not a very big guy. I saw him, I was like, wow.
But his structure is crazy.
Yeah,
so much muscular and density, but he's a nice guy. He's a fierce competitor.
Yeah, he carries a good energy with him. He's just a chill dude, and he's happy. He's just whatever, he's totally cool to.
Is
and easy
Tonio
to be
short
around.
for anything? Like Antonio, or is it just Tonio? Is that his name?
I'm not sure. I don't know that. I feel like I should
Off
know
the
it, but I
topic.
don't.
Let's go bring it back. You said the numbers once again for the amateur show is 130.
I think he had 130 bodies. Yes.
Okay. So we're going to go to the Denver because a lot of our audience is from Colorado. Our numbers have been, how do we get these numbers pumped up for the Colorado shows? How do we get the interest in to get those kind of numbers? Is it because there's a pro show and that's why? Or was there a reason? Did you find a finite reason why that happens?
Chris, first of all, puts on a great show. He's a great promoter. He puts on good shows. So that reputation's out there. And I think that's really what it takes as a promoter now. There's so many shows and these competitors can fly from state to state like it's nothing now. Flying so, well, not now. It's not so cheap, but it's a lot easier than it was back when you and I were competing in the late 80s.
Well, you didn't
90s.
even really travel except for
No,
nationals.
you had to prove your point at home first. But now it's like these guys put on great shows, so I'm going to fly over to wherever and put on a great show. So it's important for promoters to be on their A game.
Let's talk about that, and that's for the audience. And obviously, I have a lot of respect for the Manions, so let's go down that road. And I'm never trying to direct any kind of thing, but the one thing I say is, like, back in the day, you had a 2-year qualification to the Nationals. You actually had to win your class to get there. If you get in the top 5, which, remember, Nationals back then, they'd be 30, 35 deep in your class. Then you were qualified for another 2 years. Do you think, and I had suggested this before, pro cards getting taken away, also, like, you had Chris Felito and you had Jose Raymond, refusing their pro cards for several years to stay in those amateur to get ready. Do you think that's a part of the thing that people just want to be nationally qualified and be those 4 acronyms?
I think, kind of like what we were talking about last week, is people want to have that asterisk IFBB Pro next to their name on their social media for training or whatever reason that they're going to commercialize themselves at. So I think that's where the number one thing is, as far as wanting to be a pro.
The one thing I was telling Tyler, and he said, I know he looked at me like I'm crazy because this is a business and it's a sport and they care about the athletes. But I was saying, like, the PGA and the MLB and things of that nature, NFL, when you're not doing it and you're not producing, they go back down. Like the PGA goes back to nationwide. The MLB goes down to AAA. Sure. You can get sent. So, like, and I'm not trying to say that you guys don't deserve to be pro, but sometimes it's fun competing at the amateur level again, trying to go back through the journey.
Yeah, and sometimes that might be, I get what you're saying, that might be a little bit easier than getting on a pro stage. Is like, you won your pro card, you keep it for 2 years, and then, decide not to compete. So you're going to go back to a national show and try to re-qualify for it. And that would actually bring up the national shows. And, that's not anybody's decision to make but Tyler. But I will tell you this, Tyler is very open. He wants the best for this organization. So he listens to pretty much everybody, and he'll decide on his own what he wants to do with it.
Yeah, I think he embodies what Jim used to do, and Jim cared about the athlete 100%. One thing I do know, you said that the numbers were 130 for the amateur, but I looked at wellness and I looked at bikini, and I've baby bikini and wellness under my team. And we had 4 wellness and 7 bikini. Now, I know, and I've had shows, I promote myself, I know there's sanction fees and there's prize money and escrow, all that stuff. And you're coming out of the pocket for these venues and stuff. Do you think that it's probably the due diligence or some duty of these pro athletes that want to be, sponsored, they want to be get on the Olympic stage, but only 4 to show up and only 7 bikini? And then you got, 20 back east. And furthermore, the points are weighted at these shows. So should the points be the same? Should these bikini girls and wellness girls and whoever get off their butt and enter these? What's your thoughts?
I know there was supposed to be 5 for wellness at Legion, but Taylor Bliss broke her ankle.
And that's terrible, but 5
I know.
versus 20, like how many wellness pros we have. And I get it. That's money and it's diet and stuff. But, you got your pro card. We just talked about it and no one's utilizing it. And Chris puts on a fantastic show. And then I don't know if it's disrespectful or if it just shows, should we cut the divisions?
I think it's just happened that way. Most of the time the shows are pretty full.
But look at the Korea show, 2 men's physique guys.
Yeah, I can't explain what's going on over in Korea.
Do you know what I'm saying, though?
Yeah.
Like, these guys should go.
I definitely, some very good athletes could have competed this weekend and done very well and got points or even qualified. And not to knock on the athletes that were there, because there were some quality athletes there as well. But I absolutely agree with you. These athletes need to start competing in these shows, especially shows like, the ones Chris puts on, or any, promoter. I haven't gone to a bad IFBB show here in the States yet. And these promoters work real hard. They take time out of their own day. They spend a lot of money to make these shows for you pros. And so, you pros should definitely be competing.
And see, what I kind of view it as, and what I say, we used to pay $5,000, $10,000 for guest posers. So that means back in the day, don't want to do as many guest posing as we used to, but Phil Heath used to go on like 30, 40 trips, I think, a year, and he would be paid to guest pose. And this is almost like a free guest pose. And it's like, and it gets you guys clout and get you guys recognition. So you're good. Like, oh, I didn't even know this person was there. So I always urge people, get in these small shows, even though it's weighted. And I think the New York and the Pittsburgh are bigger shows to get points. But like, we got the Mile High, which is like a second or third tier for points. And then you have that. I think it should be encouraged that these people and these coaches out there, we like, oh, we want all our team to go to one show. Well, I don't want everybody to go to one show. Why? Because I got two of the favorites. I know two of them aren't good enough to be there. Hate to say that. We'll put them in a different tiered show, you know?
Well, there's two different athletes that turn pro and come into the pros, and there's the ones that it just comes natural, like your Phil Heath, and he's
a good pro.
He's kind of like a one in a lifetime pro, but I'm just saying these pros come in and they have no problem getting in with the competition and competing.
Yeah, and
then there's some that like are going to have to work. They're going to have to grow more. They're going to have to get harder each show. They're going to have to get better conditioning. So the only way to do that, and the only way I've seen over the past years that, you and I've been in bodybuilding, is by pros that are competing like, 3 to 4 times a year. Because they figure their bodies out. When you are actually in a diet and competing, you are in such a high anabolic state. You are growing all the time. That's the best time to grow, is when you're dieting and you come off and your body just refeeds and you grow. So if you're not competing, 2-3 times a year as a brand new pro, I truly don't believe you're getting much better. And I don't believe in that just taking, I believe taking like a year off, but taking 3 years off to grow. I guarantee the guy who does 2 or 3 shows a year, 3 years in a row, towards the guy that doesn't compete at all, he's going to grow just as much, and he's going to learn a lot more about his body.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Question for you guys on this from promoting shows. Are the sanction fees different based on the divisions that you're going to have at each show? Because, the trend over the last couple of years is, especially the women, like women's physique, women's bodybuilding, those shows there's not a lot of them now.
Sure.
So,
well, that's just because I think a lot of the interest at the intro pro level is in bikini, some figure, wellness very much.
The sanction fees varies for the bodybuilding's a little more, but prize money has to be more for bodybuilding too. Yeah. So I think some guys don't want to come out of pocket, obviously.
Okay.
A
lot of it has to do with, in the pros is just sponsorships, and a lot of the big sponsors, they want to sponsor, but if they want to do the men's show, they're going to pay more, because let's say, okay, we have a men's bodybuilding show and it's an IFBB pro show. No offense, but if we have one building that they're showing the men and another building they're showing the women, the building that has all the top men is going to be more crowded than the one without the women. And
I'd be at the women, not because I'm a perv, but because I'd like to watch women a lot better than men. And some guys would be at the that's just joking. But that being said, that is true. And I'll go into this. So when you go to the expos and you go to this, I'll see a line, say for Sam Sulik or Martin, 2 hours long. And then you'll see like some of these dominant girls that there's 5 girls, 10 girls. Yeah. And it's like, I think, and I don't know if it's because we bro out and we just want to stand in line and get the picture with the guy, but there is that thing that I think guys will go do that and fanboy over more than a bunch of girls will go. Now they'll buy the products because women buy purchase, but they might not stand in line for 2 hours to get a photo or an autograph.
Well, it's kind of like this too. If you're looking at a guy you want to look like, you want to be like whatever. That's like in your soul. You're like, I want to be just like that. You see some girl that's a bikini girl. Most of the time when I was younger, I couldn't care less what figure was. I could care less what female bodybuilding was. I was like, if there was a female bodybuilding show or a male bodybuilding, I was going to watch them because I was like, I want to be like that guy.
Yeah, I agree. I do think that the reason why you say what you're saying, Brandon, is there is a price difference. I don't know if we're going to share that, but there's a price difference on what you have to pay to get one of those shows.
Sure.
And then what he's saying is, I think the interest when you're talking about a top biller, say you have Andrew Jack or Ashley Koswalser, you probably get a lot more to the show. Now, not maybe like a demonstration and stuff. They'll probably bring the same, but when it comes to big shows and stuff like that, you get more fans in the butts in the seats.
Yeah, there's more money to make with the bigger shows.
Yeah.
You know, and it's, you know, promoters do a lot, but at the end of the day, promoters aren't stupid. They like to make a little bit of money from all the hard work they put in. So, you know, you just got to know what you're doing, and you start small and you work your way up and eventually go big.
I got a question, and this is for you guys out there watching, because I've judged a long time. I don't judge anymore than I coach, but the one thing I always wondered is when you're at a pro-am. So pro-ams, usually you have them because you get money more off of the amateurs, and then the pros, you got to pay out money. But as a judge, when you're judging a pro, and then you go to an amateur, are you looking for something different? Like you're like, well, the bikini, obviously you see the bikinis, they were off the chain. I mean, there were 7 girls up there and they were great. But then you go down to the amateurs, like, do you want them? Do you judge like, oh, she's too much? Does your mindset change, or how do you do that?
You're looking for who's ready to be a pro on that day, who's ready to go to nationals, you know, and sometimes that you can go to a week show and some great bikini girl just pops out and everybody's like, oh, she's just way too much, but she looks way too much because, you know, all the other girls are just pretty much very novice or true novice.
So what do you do? What do you do in that situation?
You reward who needs to go to nationals, and that's the girl that looks. Yes, absolutely. Why would you not?
Yeah,
because you could say, "Oh, well, she looks too much for this show, so we're going to let the girl go." And then she goes to nationals, and she goes up and bench a bunch of girls that look like that. You know, so people, I see that a lot. And what people really need to understand is they need to get out and see a national, see a pro show, because that's probably the one thing. Oh, that girl was too much for a bikini.
I do say, and then I'm gonna say this gently, but there are Instagram bodybuilders and fitness and body. When we say bodybuilding, I mean all fitness, bikini, wellness. That's bodybuilding. You're building your body. There's a lot of things that you see, and when, like, you'll see girls, and I see this happen, or guys, and they look great on Instagram. You get them at a show, and they're like, what in the heck? And they're not there. Do you see that more often than not, where you're like underwhelmed with what you think's going to be brought, and then what's brought?
I don't pay too much attention to Instagram.
Oh, you don't?
No, I mean, I don't. I try not to get influenced. I get on Instagram to do some business and, you know, kind of look at all the crazy, you know, backdoor business. No, just, you know, with the gym and my shows, promotion.
Yeah.
But if I start reading through all the drama, I just get wrapped up in that. It gives you a headache. You stress out. You're like, what is wrong with these people? So I don't even get involved in it.
Okay. You know, let's go to that. So right now, big thing that everybody's talking and going is the enhanced games. If you haven't seen it, it's this guy promoting it. They're actually coming out and saying you have to use FDA approved anabolics, and you were trying to break all these records. And the guy that we did break one record, I guess, it was a 50-meter sprint. He was on a protocol of 500 tren and anthate, 500 test cypionate, and 6 to 7 IUs of growth, and he beat the record. But then we had the deadlift, we had the 100 meter, and no one's broke those records. Do you think that's saying something about USADA and the Olympics? Are athletes on stuff, or it's just genetically prone that their people are just faster and it doesn't matter if you're on gear?
That's a good question.
I mean, I think it's probably a combination of both.
Really?
I mean, for an example, like, it's not Olympics, but look at Lance Armstrong. At that level of cycling, everybody's on something. He was just better than everybody else. So I think there was maybe he had a better protocol or better, like, you know, he was the best of the cheaters, even though I'm fine with that.
And for you young people that don't know Lance Armstrong, it was the Tour de France. He won it 7 times, and he was diagnosed with, I think, prostate cancer at one point. He beat it, and then he came back, won 7 in a row, or 6 in a row, and he ended up years later telling everybody he did anabolic steroids. Everybody ranted and raved.
I thought it was blood doping.
Blood doping too, EPO and stuff like that. So the point being is, now this enhanced game, and you're not breaking these records because, if they were on gear, they would break Barry Bonds' home run record. I think it does go to prove that gear isn't it. Like people are like, oh, you're on gear, you're cheating. I'm like, gear is just a little proponent of something. Now, does it miracle? Yes. But does it make you superhuman if you're not? No. It makes you better than what you were. And if you are superhuman like a Phil Heath, it makes you superhuman above everybody else.
Yeah. Phil Natty was crazy.
Yeah. I think that, we all know how good drugs work. We're not going to sit here and play stupid.
Like,
we've all used, anabolic steroids.
I've never used anything in my
growth
life.
Hormone.
Go back to the first episode. Watty said something.
Oh, yeah,
different.
I did.
And it does. It does make you you're feeling pretty
Good.
Yeah.
You're feeling pretty bulletproof at some points.
Yeah. So, but the thing is like, back in the day, if you guys don't know, Ben Johnson broke the world record. He's from Canada. Was a sprinter. Was tested positive for stanozol, which was Winstrol, and he broke it. And then they took it away, and then it went to Carl Lewis. But now look we got these things testing. They're trying to break these records, but they're on gear and they can't beat it. And just I think it goes to prove that. Yes, it helps you, but you got to be that athlete to do it anyway. Well, so those parents that
think of Ben Johnson, he shattered that record.
Yes.
So if you take away the Winstrol he was taking, he probably still wins.
Yeah.
But all you're doing is you're taking a superhuman person and you're injecting them with enhanced drugs that's going to make them basically like a superhero.
The thing that you brought up and the thing that I was looking at the protocols, and I own a hormone clinic. I coach a lot of different athletes in all sports. I was looking at that protocol and I was like kind of questioning it, but it was FDA approved stuff. But I think they used the wrong protocols. And that goes into saying, I think you've got to really, if you get a bodybuilding coach, you get a female athlete, you get a male athlete, you should really deep dive into what goes right for that person, and I think that's,
I'll tell you, the science is always changing. I know how much it changed back when I used to coach athletes, and I just hear bits and pieces of what's going on nowadays, and it's so advanced that coaching. If you're a coach and you're out there and you're not staying with the times, you're probably not going to be coaching much longer. You need to stay with the times. You need to stay on top of all the latest data because it's out there, and that's what these athletes are looking for. I mean, it's sad, but that's what it is. And if you think back to when I couldn't wait to get on shit.
I mean, it's it's true. And then what he wants to, I want to say something like it really freaking matters because I think people will go, when we say stuff on here, you get attacked for saying stuff. But when he says science evolves and stuff, what that means is like, for a long time, we thought something about a carbohydrate. Sometimes we thought this about HGH. Well, things change and more studies are done, and then we have a different narrative and a different study done and proves to be more. So it's ever evolving. And so I think you have to stay on that forefront. But the ultimate thing is you got to see what works for you and that person and that time, because one time you're allergic to peanuts and all of a sudden you're not allergic to peanuts. Going forward to that, let's go into that. What do you think with all the fad diets and all the stuff out there, what's the best diet for people? Is keto diet, intermittent fasting, carb cycling, vegetarian? When James Cameron came out with the vegetarian thing, that was a big thing, but everyone forgot that he owned a vegetarian company. Right. What do you guys think about that for
Brandon,
people?
you're pretty in shape all the time. What's your diet?
I mean, so I have a nutrition certification. That's one of my nerd things. I'm very anti-keto, just in general, since you mentioned keto. But I think the real thing for, especially, I don't know, bodybuilding's different, but I think for most people, it's just finding a healthy relationship and a balanced diet is what most people need to focus on. I think cutting shit out is generally a bad idea. Your brain needs carbs. Your muscles need carbs. You should eat a lot of protein. And you should have balanced diets. The fad things don't ever, look at The Biggest Loser. I don't know if you guys remember that show. Take these giant people. I almost said that in a way more inappropriate way, but you take them and put them in this perfect environment.
Did you want to say fat motherfucker?
It was similar, yeah.
Brandon, dude,
we're just wink at Watty. He'll take the words right out of your mouth.
I'll just nod to you when I need that. But they took
Asians
these people.
Get away with saying anything.
You take these people that are very unhealthy, never exercise. You put them in a perfect environment where all their meals are prepared for them. Their exercises are routine, and then they lose tons of weight. And then they'd leave and they would put it all back on because they weren't addressing the root causes with food problems, and they weren't creating sustainable diets.
Yeah, I feel, and I was talking to Dylan about this, we've, obviously Dylan's had several Olympia qualified athletes, some in the top 2, and I've had several at the Olympia and several in the top 5. I think, and I really do stress this, is whatever for that person's going to work and what they're willing to accept. Like some people, you give them a diet and they're not wanting to do carb cycling, or they're not wanting to be keto, or they want to do keto. So the person has to accept it. And then their life could be like, we've all went through breakups. I've been through a few hundred. Dylan's been to it. And your body might need something at this stage versus that.
Yeah, you want to lose weight? Break up with your girlfriend.
Oh yeah, breakups.
Boyfriend.
And I'm telling you this right now.
Depression, stress, anxiety.
Breakups make the best bodybuilders.
But I disagree with Brandon on his diet thing. I'm not a big carb guy, especially as I get older. I do eat some carbs. I think limited carbs are good. I like high protein, dense, nutrient-rich foods.
Yeah.
And that keeps me full. And from.
Oh, I totally agree with
Hold on, pipe down. I'm still talking here.
We're trying to get to
he's trying to make up for it.
I'm like, no, I actually agree with you.
I didn't say eat that many carbs.
No, I agree. I agree. Like, listen, when we are talking about all of us 40s and 50s, your body does change, especially women. You change over 30s. Is carb essential nutrient? No, it's not essential. You don't need it. But everybody's going to have their premises, and this is a wise man.
I don't think back in the day, and I think we shot an animal, we killed an animal or whatever it was, and we ate the meat.
Oh yeah.
Who was the idiot that was walking along the field one day and started eating some grass?
Well, let's talk about that, and I'm going to tell you that. So that is a big play. It's called paleo diets, and obviously that's a big thing. And the caveman diet, but that is thing. The one thing that did help the world expand all over was corn. And so, which corn is starchy and carb like that. So I do believe that to expand society, and sometimes we do have energy off the carbohydrate, there is that point, is the fibrous carb versus, a fast acting or whatever. I do agree with both of these points. And I do come down to that. There's no right solution for each one person. You have to kind of get into it, and hopefully they just do it consistently and do it, because we can't control.
That's all. That's one thing we'll all agree on about a diet is you need to be consistent and you need to show up every day.
Because you get these guys, and we all have met them, where they are 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 calories, eat whatever they want, no cardio, and you're like, how are you 4%? And so they break the rule. And then you have this other girl, it's like, I just looked at a carb and drove by Winchells, and now I'm 52 pounds heavier. And they're like, there's that person, the ectomorph, endomorph, mesomorph. So I think those things play into a lot.
I think what you were talking about, building on that too, to the last conversation, when it comes to coaching, everyone responds to things differently. So it's about working with good nutritionists, good coaches that can figure out whether it's a PED protocol or a diet protocol. Everyone's a little bit different. But the problem too is everyone fucking calls himself a coach now. There's so many people that say coach because they want to be a coach, but they've never.
And I don't have a problem with that. I've been coaching. I'm going to kind of age myself since 1990, 94. I've been in this sport for 30 plus years, and the biggest thing, everybody's like, are you mad if one of your athletes does one show and coaches? Not really. Like me and Dylan talking about athletes, information's everywhere now. So it's like, we used to have to go pay for camps and go fly to New York. Remember, you hired a coach from New York. I hired a coach. We had to go fly and then get information. So information's readily available. I don't have a problem with everybody coaching or saying they're a coach. I do challenge people when there are those tough things that you probably should have a little more experience with, to turn to people with more experience.
Yeah. Well, and right now I've seen it a lot with bikini coaches and Anavar, because I've seen a bunch of girls.
It's Angelona.
Their very first show, it's their first time bikini competitor, and they're getting put on 10 to 15 milligrams of Anavar.
I mean, I've seen that. I've probably done. It's up to the person. As long as they're over 18, they make their decision. You have to have a talk with them. They should get blood work. Back in the day, we didn't really get that much blood work back in the day, but they should. And if they want to go that route, just be careful, because usually clinically they can be prescribed, but you got to get a lot of blood work. Usually it's a black market scenario, and you never know what it's made out of. So like it says it's Anavar and it's something else, and then you have gut problems and all this stuff.
Back in the day, it was fuck it. Fill that
Yeah.
3cc syringe
That's what I
up.
say.
Don't
Remember,
waste it.
Do you remember when that guy came out? Was it Rich Piana, the 3cc hats and stuff? Those are great.
Don't waste that syringe. Fill it.
And stuff was expensive. Like that's the one thing that's changed a lot. There is like all the internet has or supplements or medicine. And back in the day, there was guys that would sell like the 10 ml bottle, which was a standard, for $200-$300, and you're like, oh, well, that's all I can afford is 2 of those things. So like things have changed. It's readily available. Knowledge is readily. We had to read Dan Duchesne, his stuff on dieting. We'd go out, hang out in San Diego and listen to all those guys talk about it. We'd go out to New York. You hear all those guys. So like information. That's why younger people can coach and have a lot of knowledge to access.
They got the internet,
and they have the internet, but it can be a problem. It definitely can be a problem. That being said, what's the problem right now? And we all find we're going to the finance part of this is travel and going to the shows. And I think all our viewers out there, unless you have a loads of money and disposable income or a sugar mama or sugar daddy, which I have both. Just kidding. Is the price of flights have gone up 20%? Flights, hotels up 20%. Luxury hotels 50%. What do we do? How do you combat it? What do you do? You're traveling a lot.
Well, you quit buying corporate. Because corporate's what's causing all this.
Okay.
Corporate rents out the hotels. Corporate, does everything. And, corporate money is huge. And, that's what happens. And corporations will take over the world if this continues to go on. So support your local restaurants, support your local businesses, because it's important right now because big money is taking over the world. It really is.
Absolutely. And I was talking to some of my friends that work for Amazon and one of my buddies who works for a big venture capitalist in property. These guys have unlimited money to travel on. So when you and I pay for a ticket that's $300 to $500 and in a hotel that's $300 a night, they can just boom, book it, and it doesn't affect them. So guess what the hotel and they go up. Price is that. We have to think about like, damn, should I do a one stop? Should I?
Well, think as soon as the whole private sector is totally wiped out, if the private sector got wiped out, small business, do you think we're the only ones keeping the corporate prices low right now? Because we have to. We have to compete with them, the restaurants, the gyms, whatever. So, that get rid of all the privateers, and then the corporate's like, guess what? This is what it is. You're either in or you're out. You can't afford it. Too bad.
Well, look at Vegas now. Do you remember 20 years ago, Vegas was cheap?
Yep.
And you could go to the Rio and get a $20 buffet, and the hotel rooms were $100.
Well, remember, Vegas was the cheap getaway that adults took to have a way. Now Vegas is the expensive getaway.
So
now
expensive.
Vegas is getting hit. My buddies are host out there. For y'all don't know, you get host or you get bottle service and you go out there and you get clubs and night things. Well, that's getting hit. They used to book 100,000 a night, and sometimes it's getting slower. And I think it's because these big corporations are charging $800 on the weekend, $1,000 on the weekend,
absolutely.
when it used to be $80 for a hotel room.
Absolutely.
And then the buffet would be $15-$20.
Yep.
That's killing our travel, killing us putting money back in. And why would you want to spend $4,000, $5,000 to go to Vegas when you can go $5,000 to Bahamas?
What's happening is that the rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer, and the middle class is, about 10% is going to the rich and about 80%, 80-90% is going to the poor.
For sure.
And so you're pretty much going to have this, world that's third world pretty soon if, something's not done.
Going back to this, since we do have like hotels and stuff, like there are options if you're out there traveling, Airbnb, hostels. But the thing is that we find with some states is like New York, LA, San Francisco, it's short-term rentals, kind of illegal in some things, and they're banning them county by county. How's that affecting us? Are they thinking of us like it's our home, we can't do that, and they're just saying no, you can't do that?
Absolutely, they're taking your rights away. That's all they're doing. It's like it's so hard to get an Airbnb license here in Colorado because they want part of the money.
Yeah,
they want they want to control everything, and that's what's wrong with a lot of these states now. Is the government is too entrenched, and they are controlling the way people do business.
Like I was trying to have a brothel at my house. They're saying no, that's illegal.
I think that's pretty
bullshit.
fucked up. You need to really write the
I
state.
should have a brothel.
I support that.
For you guys that want to call in and write in, we're going to do petition I. Watty, it could be guy or girl. I don't want to, or they or them. We'll have a brothel.
You'd
and I'm
probably
gonna
be
make
the
money.
only one in this state to pull that off.
I could.
I bet you could.
I could. Like, okay, another thing is I want to go over, and for you guys, I know we got the traditional travel to go to shows, and everything is always going to be back to shows because that's what we come from. But like, do you think that trains and buses were coming back? Because you look at public mass transportation in Europe, and the trains are a thing, but it's not here. And do you think it should be? And should we go? Can you go that route if you're going to travel like you do?
I mean, it wouldn't be a bad idea. But, we decided a long time ago we were going to drive. America decided, they built highway system. That's how we were going to do it.
Okay.
We weren't going to do it the way Europe was going to do it. And we decided.
Traveling, say like I did. So when my parents used to travel with me, we'd go camping every weekend. And we would drive, we were poor ranchers. And so we drive everywhere, right? But now, like we talked about in the first episode, gas prices are out. So is it cheap to fly? Is it this? Like this? Does it become, because I took a train ride the other day and it wasn't that bad, but it took forever.
Yeah.
Is that something that the young public, you guys going out there, do they do that?
Let me tell you.
Go ahead.
I don't know, but I can tell you this. When these gas prices do drop,
Drop?
they're going to drop more than people ever expected to.
So for why?
For why? Because America's going to be controlling most the energy in the world. And that's, we didn't have that before.
We're going to have big dick energy.
We're going to have big dick energy. But that's what it is. I mean, we're suffocating ourselves. We're doing all this stupid stuff by importing oil, and we have the most, we go over, we build these plants for people, and then they take them, and it's going to get better.
You don't have a opinion on this, right? Because you got an EV. He's got a Mangina car, which I might get.
I definitely have an opinion on it.
No, go, give me.
I mean, one for the train thing. I mean, look at California when they tried to build their train and they spent like $1 billion and it
that's because
barely
they
was built.
were giving it all to legal aliens.
Right.
That's another story.
Well,
I trained some of those illegals.
but I think we should have more energy independence. I think
From fossil fuel? Is that what you're trying to
well,
say?
no, from other countries.
Oh, yeah.
Like, because we have a tremendous oil capability here. And then, with all the other shit going on. Because then theoretically, oil prices go down, then food costs should go down, transportation costs should go down.
Superpower of the world should have its own energy supplies.
Yeah, we shouldn't be dependent on.
Are we the superpower?
I still believe so.
Okay.
I'm the red, white, and blue guy here.
I
love America.
I still think it's the best country in the world.
Absolutely.
It is, of course.
That doesn't mean we don't have bullshit.
But there's all kinds of people come here.
We got a lot of fucked up shit, but not as much as everybody else.
I want to give you guys some tidbits of why we're talking on this. Just that I helped. If you are traveling and you are a young person out there wanting to travel and you can do your own due diligence, obviously Chase Sapphire, an annual fee of $95, good points. This, by the way, is not sponsoring anything. It's just giving you guys Capital on Venture. They do zero fees. Bank of America, they have a 0 fee. But Amex, that's the one thing I want to talk to you about. Amex is a great card. Great benefits, but it's $325. But what they will do is if you have to dispute a thing, they put it back on. And I just came through this scenario where I was with Chase and someone kind of scammed me out of a bunch of money and I went against it and disputed it and they went against me. Amex won't do that.
No.
They go right on to you.
Amex is on your side, and Amex is great. It's worth every penny.
Is it?
Especially if you spend, I put a lot of business expenses on Amex, so I get that $325 back easy with points.
Do you have the black?
Huh?
Do you have the
No.
Not black per like I don't want to the black card.
No.
Okay.
No,
That's like $10,000 annual fee. The only reason I ask is because like sometimes people charge a lot, like a gym can charge a lot and stuff, and I didn't know if it'd be beneficial on
$10,000 for that thing.
Yeah, for annual.
That's that's those corporations.
Yeah.
That's just dropping the bucket.
But
for
then
them.
you throw that down. I mean, and listen, guy or girl, you throw that down, get all the bitches. Sorry.
Well, no, I mean, Amex is protection for their customers too. Yeah. Like, remember we were buying lighting for the gym.
That's why a
for
lot
the
of
shows, and we had to call them because they want to make sure it's actually
You?
him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's great. That
I remember this story, guys. I got to tell this story. Off topic. So Dylan, we struggled all through life growing up together, and we became business owners and stuff and got a little bit more financial wealth and independence. And Dylan got a credit card or something, and he's like, I wonder if I could buy a really expensive watch and he charged a Breitling. Like he put a Breitling just to do it. Do you remember that?
Yeah, that was stupid.
That's the Breitling. Those are the buys. Now
And
me,
it worked.
I did that. It worked. Got it. I went to the strip club and put 10,000 on mine and it worked. And I was helping all those young minds get to like college, lawyers. There's a bunch of people I was helping get to be lawyers and doctors. So
Are you talking about? Are you like funding strippers or something? Or
I get they were entertainers.
Yeah.
Brandon, I don't like you calling my girls.
they're just single moms trying to make it through.
Yeah, these are just single moms. And okay, so going on to that, another thing that we could go over and help you guys is grassroots sponsorships, and that's that's something that you got. I don't think that a lot of people do. We all want these big brand. Young LA, we want Evogen, we want all these sponsorships or promo code, and I think we miss out on the fundamental thing of the mom and pop, like insurance companies, bails bondsmen, construction companies going to their golf tournaments, writing them diets, showing up at their golf things. What do you think about that? And like, you get 10 of those at $100, that's $1,000. What do you think?
Yeah, I think anything's, it's like us, walking down the street when we were young with our lawnmowers, trying to mow lawns for a living. It's just different.
Sure.
It's just different time. And, if you can, we all know somebody, that owns something or has a business somewhere. So if you can communicate with them somehow on how to get a sponsorship and you help them back out by, whatever it may be, advertising, referrals, whatever.
And then one thing I want to tell you guys, when you're going after these deals, like I have a lot of athletes and stuff. Some are massive athletes, some are not. The one thing I think that you should do one pagers, send them out there, be proactive. Don't just wait in the back for it, but also approach it of what you're going to do for them. A lot of people just approach like, well, this is, what are you going to give me? And I think even but Jeremy Buendia has taught me a lot. He's one of my athletes, but I watch him as a businessman. He will reach out and he's like, this is what I got and this is what I'm going to provide for you. Before he even says numbers, he's like, this is what I'm going to give you and this is what helps you.
Yeah. That's a great way to introduce. I mean, you go ask him for numbers first. Somebody's looking at you like,
for sure.
Why the fuck do I want to give you money?
It's not just being hot. It's the message you send out there.
The message, 100%.
I think credit to, not to kiss your ass, but a credit to you and, Branch and Rich. With the muscle events is the sponsors that you guys are having come in.
Yeah.
It's not always just the big ones. You're getting this, for example, like last year we had Jersey Alternative Medicine.
Yeah.
Dennis is the greatest guy.
Yep.
And
good people over there.
So you get guys like that. You had folks at the Branch this year that were newer to the Branch being a sponsor.
Yeah.
So
I wanted to go after. I want to go after the motorcycle shop, G-Force next. I want to have them bring their parts from four-wheelers and stuff in the lobby of the show. Because I think
that's great.
Listen to this.
Well, you had didn't you have car rentals? Didn't you have the supercar rentals?
Yeah, we had the supercar rentals. But a lot of people that go to shows are just there with their family.
Yeah.
They see a motorcycle or
it gets other.
It's like
industries.
Okay, they get business off that.
And that's what I'm trying to say. We as athletes and you guys out there as athletes, you focus so tunnel vision. Like I want to be dark sport. I want to be this. But you don't think there's so much more industries that will support you on your journey, and that's where it comes.
Yeah, you just got, like you said, though, you got to be able to present yourself to sell it and work on that. Because what Watty said just a few minutes ago about selling yourself before asking for the price is key.
Yep. I want to go over some things like all of us are trying to start businesses. All of us are in these spaces, and some are online, some are this. Do you think, and then today I had a young lady, she's going to do a clothing line, okay? Or she's going to be a third party, I think, whatever you call it. And she is going to do a commercial spot. She signed a lease, I think it was 2,000 square feet. And, I was talking about TI, tenant improvement, all this stuff with her. She didn't know a lot about it, CAM charges, all this. But Denver itself is in a 40% vacancy rate of commercial. It's increased 38%. My CAM charges, I have a bunch of commercial spots. They went up extremely a lot. Do you think the bricks and mortar, and you have bricks and mortar, Dylan owns the gym and owns the building, and he's smart, and he has two different companies, and it goes back and forth. Do you think it's smart, or do you think you need to have the bricks and mortar in this day and age?
It just depends on what business you're in. gym business, you plan on staying around, you better have bricks and mortar because you sign a nice 10-year lease. You got this great gym. So, it could happen to anything. Some big, huge hardware store wants to come in or something. They're going to say adios, man.
Bye.
See ya.
Absolutely.
And if you're going to stick around for a while, yeah. But if you got like a clothing company, I don't think clothes move easy enough. Mm-hmm. Gym equipment doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, I still like it. I'm just older. I still like to feel it and touch it, put it on, and rip the price tag, stuff it down my pants, walk out the door. But
you put price tags down your pants?
Yeah,
that's weird.
I have weird
kinks.
But it's just like you see this thing, and if you watch Boot Barn and all these Forever 21s have closed so many commercial spots. The mall used to be a big thing. It's gone. If you go to some of these malls, they're gone. Is the day of bricks and mortars dead even at the corporate level?
I don't think so. I think they're building these new 10-minute cities. And
what's that?
They got these huge ass apartment buildings, and then below you got the restaurants and I think a lot of people that's going to really
for sure
open up small business for brick and mortar people too.
For sure.
Because people want to come downstairs. They don't want to go far from their house. Walk downstairs, maybe walk down the block or right directly downstairs, take the elevator and grab something to eat, maybe grab a fresh pair of socks from a store, maybe an outfit, whatever. I mean, that's the only way you can compete with Amazon is being able to walk downstairs and buy it.
Yeah, I do notice that, and I if you go to New York and if something's too many blocks away, it's everything in your block area is there. Your dating's there. Your whatever you have is at your fingertips. You don't really go outside your circle. I like that part of it, but I think we lose that point of exploring our town. When we go, and Colorado's a lot different than other states. If you drive 5 hours, you're still in Colorado. If you're on the East Coast, you can drive 5 hours. You can be in 3 states away, right? But I think that there's a loss of us getting out there and exploring, but I do agree. We're going vertical with residential. There has to be all the commerce downstairs, else you die.
When I think in the world, I think a huge problem right now too are just these people that are shut-ins and do everything online. So I think when you have areas like that build community, right? Because you can live there, you can shop there, you can eat there, you can connect with people. And I think we need more of that. We need less chatting online. We need less social media. We need less buying everything online, and let's be community and around people.
Well, like Bass Pro Shop, I mean, who doesn't want to go there? That's always fun to go shopping, right?
It's like Cabela's. I used to go to Cabela's. It's the same thing, right?
Yeah, it's great. Same thing.
And it's not the same as online. And I think there's a big thing with that. I do think those stores will never die. But, you wonder why the big corporations like Forever 21, I don't know if you've been there. I went there with chicks, not myself, but for chicks. It was a massive $1 billion company. And then just closed all their stores, and it's they're actually their marketing and stuff. It took too long to get things, and now with drop shipping and all these things changed. So I don't think they were prepared for it. But going to online and going to what you're talking about, Brandon, let's go a bit about FUBAR, fucked up on beyond all recognition. There is some things going around, and then we're going to get a little touchy on this subject. I don't mind getting my hands dirty. I'm not trying to offend anybody. I'm just giving my opinion on things, and it's not always
right. You'll never offend anybody.
And I'll never offend anybody. But Jake Paul and we'll say Tony Hinchcliffe made these jokes, and Drewski did blackface. Do we think that we're getting a little too sensitive? And there's topics that shouldn't be brought up, but Tony Hinchcliffe brought up that roast on thing, and he just made a joke about the George Floyd, which rest in peace, George Floyd, but it was just a roast. That's what they did for 50, 60 years. What do you guys think about that?
I'm a white male. I'm not touching that.
He's not touching it. I mean, I'll touch it a little bit. Okay, we'll talk about what we have here is we have people making skits. Pete Davis makes a skit about Charlie Kirk. It's funny, but then you do one on another white guy making a joke on a black guy, and it's not funny. But you got people like Dave Chappelle picking on everybody, and it's okay. I just think that there should be a space where comedians and things of that nature should be kind of getting a little leeway because we need to laugh. Now, is there sensitive topics? Is there timing issues? Should we talk about certain things the day after? Maybe not. But the laughable side of the world is we've always had problems. We've always had segregation and stuff, and break it down with humor.
We'll go back to the mid-'80s. I mean, you kids out there, haven't listened to Eddie Murphy, listen to Eddie Murphy Delirious.
It's the best.
Nobody's safe listening to Eddie
and
Murphy
that's
Delirious.
what you want.
And we used to
your
laugh.
power.
I fell out of my car laughing so hard the first time I heard that. My mom's car, I went in, I put the tape cassette in her car so I could hear it.
Yep.
Snuck it in there, and I didn't want her to meet me.
Yep.
And I fell out of the car.
Dying.
It was so funny.
He went over that.
I think it's sad that we're missing a little bit of that now. Everything's so serious, but I think the political world's done that, and people just need to get away from the political world, because
everybody's so sensitive. Dylan's talking very sensitive. He's got due diligence. I do too, but I just don't give a shit. And so he has to walk that thing. But there is a point where we should be able to talk about crazy shit that happens. Like Eddie Murphy was talking back in the day. He was talking about, you're trying to shoot the president. He's fast and he's running back and forth. And so it was funny because it's true how the guy sit there with a scope and trying to shoot him. And we laughed about it, Mm-hmm. And Reagan had just got shot. I think he just got shot. And that's why we got the Bill Brady law or the whatever, getting a gun. But we can't do that now. You get roasted.
Well, even talking about people that are obese now, you used to just call them fat, because back then there's maybe one or two kids in your class that was fat, but now everybody's fat, so you don't dare talk about fat people now.
But shit, you guys used to get, these guys used to, I was the Asian guy, so they had songs made up about me.
Little fat Asian.
I even wanted to call this, I wanted to have this podcast with him in it, and it'd be me and my buddy Ben, he's Asian, we're both adopted, and called Between the Yellow the Twinkies. And it's the white between the yellow. But I'm I don't know how that gets viewed, but it's concerning for me. I want to be sympathetic to women and the gays and the blacks and the Asians, but I just think I hate when it's comedian. I think we have to laugh and we have to be shocked and we have to have that space.
You got to remember, we all have our First Amendment rights, and
sure.
That they're trying to take all rights and rewrite them, and just have fun.
Yeah.
Not everything's meant to be. But hey, I'll tell you this. Let me just say this.
Yeah.
Remember when you used to have to watch what you said, because you said something.
Get your ass kicked.
Get your ass kicked, and now
Sure.
you kick somebody's ass.
You're going to jail.
You're in freaking jail.
Fight.
You can't do anything. It's you need to bring ass kickings back to a certain level, because that will keep that. Hey, you're going to watch what you say.
I agree.
If somebody big as
just to let you know, I just got in a fight Thursday night, ladies' night down at Grizzlies Rose. This is not a promo. The guy came up to me and I kicked his ass. Will and McNamee and all them. I kicked his ass. Now, is that bad, violence and all that? Yeah, no, violence isn't good. But there's a necessity to be a man, rah, 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 and beat the hell out of someone if you need to. And I beat the hell out of someone. I think that's true. Dylan's right. Spankings, not beatings. Our dad's beat. Spankings are good. Still swatting your ass.
Even coming into high school, dude, I was the
smartest
ass.
He used to beat the shit out of me.
Because when I went into high school, I got the shit kicked out of me.
Yeah, but he beat the shit out of me in front of girls. So I cried like a little baby.
But hey, we learned. It was okay, I'm that kind of hurt. My nose is kind of bleeding.
Yeah.
My eyes cut.
I'll tell you a story. We used to go to this thing called the McConaughey. It was a lake. 20,000 people would go up there. I was 18 years old. I was switching, or 19, going on 20, switching from University of Oklahoma, University of Wyoming. So Dylan and all them go up with all their bodybuilding friends. Summer Ray's dad was there, all these guys. And I'm a shithead. Well, Dylan's knows I'm a shithead. He knocks me on my ass. My feet fly up in the air. I couldn't breathe. And I'm trying to talk to this girl in G-string. I thought it was the coolest thing. And I was crying. She's like, "You're okay, Dylan, you mean bastard." So that's the shit that he put on me, man. But I'm a better character for it, I guess. I do still get a lot of shakes because of it. You made me have to rise up and do that. But anyway, let's go over our last topic and sum this up. We're in a day and age that shit's fucked up our taxes, and we get taxed on our income dollar. We get taxed on our property tax dollar. We get taxed on it. I see that Montana, North Dakota, and Ohio, Florida, and I think Florida got it on the ballot for October, is getting rid of property tax. Feelings, thoughts, does it help us?
I don't think there should be any tax on anybody that makes under $100,000 a year, because that only makes up for 3 to 4% of the taxes taken by the United States. So why would you make life harder on somebody that's
cash infused back into the system?
Yeah, there's different ways to make money. I went to Sweden. I'm like, why is there no American cars here?
Hey,
because there's huge tariffs on American.
do you know in
cars coming
Sweden though you can get in trouble and arrested if you're too built?
Yeah.
That's
It's
crazy.
true.
Just to let
Very
you know
much
that.
true, yeah.
They can come in there and they can go in and arrest you. This is off topic, but if Dylan looks too built, they can test you if you're on anabolics because they don't want kids to be persuaded.
Yeah, but there's other ways. Basically, what I'm saying is
don't know why I said
for us to make money besides taxing people that can barely pay their bills.
Yeah, for sure. And I don't know, and this is off, I don't know if there's an answer for it. I know that I don't like that I have a house and then my property tax can adjust so much. It did this year. Texas is really bad. I think that those things, we buy these things, we've already been taxed. Why do we have to pay that again?
Well, people say, well, there's only 30% tax in America. Okay, yeah, that's your income getting taxed, and you go pay your sales tax, and you go pay your license plate tax, then you pay your property tax. So after you're done, the average American's being taxed way over 50%.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
I mean, I think taxation period is theft. I'm very much but I think even if they did a flat tax, say everyone pays 15%, then people lower income are going to pay less in tax, and it's not penalizing someone for being more.
Listen, the billionaires, the millionaires, they pay most of the taxes here in the United States. And
80,
what they're
90%.
taxed now is they're not really upset about it. What gets them upset is, when you see a bunch of fraud going on.
Well, sure.
And that because you're talking about billions in fraud when they're missing billions to take care of city projects, state projects. It's like, well, fix your system. Don't attack us more.
I always think it's weird on fraud is like, we fraud things, but we get frauded by girls and guys all the time because they got boobs and shit.
Everywhere.
So that's like fraud.
The amount of energy that goes into fraud, it's like, why don't you
It
just
is.
go get a fucking job, dude? Fuck,
Sure.
that's way harder.
Yeah, for sure. Like, Greg Abbott from Texas, he's trying to eliminate school district property tax and stuff like that. There's little things that we just shouldn't have. I think those things are
Well, they
hurting
don't have
American
state
people.
income tax in Texas either.
Yeah,
So.
and this goes to
But their property taxes get. I mean, you could have you could seriously have like a $2,000 a month house payment in Texas, and live in a district where there's a ton of schools, and your property taxes are $3,000, $3,500.
Yes, and that's
month.
where that
A
I think
month.
this Greg Abbott in Texas, the governor, he's trying to get rid of that because that affects you.
Yes.
Like my mortgage and then my taxes, and today, I mean, this year, I think that thing rose 400 about, and I was like, on a normal person, you're like, that's a lot to really try to balance in your monthly.
And then it's like this. Why, like people, especially people that have their property paid off. Why?
Yeah,
and then
that's true. You
and
never
then
really
business
own your
tax,
property.
business building, a business building. Why is a business building more? Because business makes money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that gives you the right to tax.
I mean,
more?
property,
That's stupid.
a house is a
That
liability.
business is already paying you all the sales tax and
Sure.
stuff coming out. Why do you got to tax the property more?
Sure.
If a business makes more money, they're going to thrive more. Okay, the city needs and the states need to work on improving their systems to where they're not hurting the average American so much as what they really need to do.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think, and I don't like talking about American government because I think we are one of the best countries in the world. If not, I was brought here, got afforded to be a great athlete, a great opportunity, but there are things that can make it better because like the young generation are having a lot harder time than we did. And I think it's because inflation has outpaced income.
Stuff's expensive now. I can't. Every time you go to the grocery store, just for two people, for me, it's, it's like $300, and that's pretty much weekly. It's crazy.
Yeah, what you were saying with taxes, I think if people knew that their tax was doing good shit, people wouldn't mind it as much. But it's going to waste and bullshit and corruption.
Well, but most everybody out there, if you knew how little of the taxes you were paying, you'd be like, why are you taxing me at all? I mean, 3 to 4% of people making is 3 to 4% of the total tax taken by the government is taken from people making under $100,000 a year.
For sure.
That's such a small percentage. Don't tax them. Don't tax them because that money
Isn't
goes.
really
they can
helping
put
the
that money
$30
back into the
billion
system.
gap.
Wait,
Probably
what if
make
they
more.
just would balance the fucking budget too? Like actually,
Yeah, I mean, I would be happy as shit if I didn't have to face some of that shit. I'd be down at Shotgun Willie's 5 days a week. You don't know.
See?
Local shout out.
Like you have more to pay strippers.
Yeah,
that money
there you
gets
go.
out. in the-
Entertainers. I love you. Anyway, okay, wrapping that up. Sins or win. It's our weekly thing. We go over and fire out if it's in or not. Get these two guys' opinions. if you agree or not. Okay? Sin or win? A wife beater.
Win.
Win what? You got a wife beater?
Always, yeah. And my son wears
It was
them
such
too.
a weird thing for back then. Everybody used to wear wife beaters.
Yeah.
Now it's like stringers
Yep.
and all these other things.
For those that will think this is inappropriate, my 9-year-old sitting across from us right now. He has headphones on, so he can't hear us, and he wears one every day too.
Oh, wow.
I just think men are supposed to.
Okay. Socks with slippers or sandals. Is it a sin or a win?
Sin.
I don't think people should wear flip-flops or sandals outside the house.
Well, I got
dude,
flip-flops
don't
on
go to
right
Hawaii, bro.
No, I know. No, I don't think men should. I don't think men should wear them outside the house.
Don't go to Hawaii.
I know.
And don't go to Hawaii.
No, no. I
got flip-flops.
judged.
Yeah,
I judged
I know.
them today.
I slippers, which there are, and the islands, you should wear the slipper because that's just the
I
daily
think your
wear.
feet need to breathe, though. Don't you
But
think?
I like boots too.
I mean, at
I was a
home,
big
I think it's
boots.
fine. The beach is fine, but I think general public, I don't think.
Do we have a guy in the
Yeah.
gym, guys, that's lifted all his life in sandal slippers, and when he squats, he squat like 500-600 pounds. I'd shit my pants.
Jimmy.
Jimmy, when he'd back out of there. Okay, sin or win? Skinny jeans.
Sin.
I mean, I don't care. I honestly don't have an
I
opinion.
think if you got a big nutsack or a big ball package, you should wear them. Okay, sin or win? This is for you, Dylan. Tripods in the gym.
I think it's a sin unless you are actually somebody, that,
Oh,
like Phil. He used to come in here and he had the camera crew setting up tripods all
how
the
do they
time.
become someone? Or are they trying to climb that ladder?
Well, I don't know.
Yeah. So
He's
a gym owner.
You got to become
Sin.
somebody first.
Sin.
Once you become somebody, you don't need to film yourself. Everybody will come to you.
Yeah. Okay.
Trust me.
I
good
like.
point.
Well, they got the drones. You think the drones were ever replacing? You have 50 drones in the
Oh,
gym.
Jesus.
Like, would that be a
It's
thing?
fucking buzz.
Would that
over
be a
your
thing?
head.
You got.
Oh yeah, because you imagine that.
That would be great.
That could be like
I'd love
futuristic.
that. I'd shoot them down. No, but I like. Listen, I'm a big promoter. I got all these people that always film. Just be sensible with your tripod. And if someone's walking by, it's their right. If they don't want to be in a thing, it's their right not to be. If you're in the bathroom, it's their right. So just try to be considerate. Do your thing, whatever. Okay, here we go. 3 things that's really going to go around pre-workout. Sin or win? Pre-workout. And I know you got sponsors and things like that. So
I would say win. When I was training, it was like I wanted to get jacked up so I can just train as hard as I could.
what about just listening to like Danzig or Sepultura? Does that work?
Nah, I
need that
wanted
kick?
to be full out murder those weights. So it was like I wanted it all.
Yeah.
But now it's like I only have essential amino acids when I work out.
See, when I was in there, I used to work at some weird gyms. They'd do like recreational drugs for the pre-workout. And I was like, that worked. But they got heart attacks and most of them are passed. But anyway, sin or win? Intra carbs.
It's a win.
Win?
Win.
Okay. Some people go against that. Okay, sin or win? Protein and carbs after your workout, 15 to 20 minutes. I've heard a lot of debate. Is it a sin or win? Is it necessity? Own opinion.
Win for me because I want to feed my body. It's hungry. I just rip. When I trained, I wasn't, there
did
was no
train.
tripods and skinny jeans. It
Yeah.
was like, fucking let's get after
Yeah,
this shit.
for sure.
I was hungry when I was done.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a win.
You're a nutritionist and you guys got to disagree.
I mean, I think
Fucking
the-
don't have to agree with
I
him.
think the whole anabolic window thing is, I mean, if
That's
you have
bullshit.
the aminos in your system,
Like,
that's
what
good.
about glucagon? We're always in a constant state of
Well,
repair,
yeah,
so we get released
because you
insulin.
need glucose and glycogen
Sure.
to rebuild your muscles and have energy. But I think you just need to be eating shit.
Your body will take 70% of that protein shake when you're done working out and convert it to glucose anyway. So
And I
body will do what it wants to do. Just put some shit down there and have a nice day and get ready for your next meal.
And I think for people that don't train a lot either, you're not getting enough protein anyway. So have a protein shake. It's good
Well,
for
we'll
you.
go into that real quick. Is like to get deep into that burning glycogen, you got to train really hard, and a lot of people just don't train that hard.
Yeah.
So yes, I think a lot of times it's not a necessity.
Right.
The takeaway close out. We're going to close this out. If you're doing your laundry and you leave it in there too long, it smells like mildew. Wash it twice in vinegar so it doesn't smell, and you come in the gym and you don't smell and reek. Just a little tidbit. This is Dylan, Alan, and Brandon, Watty, signing off from the Den Unracked. Till we see you again, grab your pickle and get a tickle.
Peace out.
See.